Welcome everybody to Six Sigma Green Belt lesson number 24. If you look at the table of contents under Lean and Design for Six Sigma, we'll talk about value stream and value chain, which is right here, and that comes under Lean concepts and tools. So we'll spend a significant amount of time talking about these two topics. Also, the reference material for value stream and value chain will be attached to the presentation, so you can look at it if you decide to do so. So moving forward, we'll talk about Lean principles, and Lean concepts. Under this, we're going to target value stream and value chain. So what happens is when a company goes into lean manufacturing, what happens then is companies can triple or quadruple or magnify the benefits of reducing waste if a company concentrates on set of activities that links a process together. So, to summarize, everybody knows that lean is about reducing waste. So, when a company implements lean manufacturing and reduces or eliminates waste, it can triple or quadruple the benefits if they concentrate on a set of activities that links a process together. And what happens is what happens if company makes lean manufacturing and Kaizen, which is a lean terminology for continuous improvement. So what happens if company makes Kaizen a high priority in individual departments. What happens then? The answer is simple. When you look for continuous improvement, the departments, they'll find islands and islands of improvement opportunities. Without looking at it or without digging into it, it's tough to identify. But once you start digging into it, you'll see, or a company will find, islands and islands of improvement opportunities in individual departments. Improving effectiveness of those activities that produce products is only part of the equation or part of the answer. We all know it is tough to identify a real improvement. For a business, or product, the following three recommendations, or we may want to call it streams or chains, are required. So for a business or a product, following three streams or chains are required. Number one, problem solving. And what comes in these three chains, we'll talk about that in a little bit detail after we finish this. Number two is information management. And number three is transformation. So we'll talk about number one value stream, which was problem solving. Value stream or chain. Under this, companies look at the following categories. and they are: A, solve the concept design. B, make a prototype. C, plan reviews after you're done with making the prototype. And D is determine methods to launch the product. So again, to summarize the problem-solving value stream, under this, companies should solve the concept design and then move on towards making the prototype, and then plan reviews to discuss about what they have accomplished, etc. And D is determine methods to launch a product to be successful. So moving on to number 2, which is information management. This consists of: number 1, order taking from the customer. 2 is raw material sequencing from suppliers. A good way these days is to use a Kanban card. So whenever you receive the product and when you open up the product from a supplier, right at the time that Kanban card is submitted to the responsible department, so it can be flipped, and then the supplier automatically gets notified that the company has used or is using what they have sent, and then the company needs that in a specified amount of time. So that's a good example. Number 3 is in-house scheduling. Number 4 is delivery to the customer. So this is what's included in information management. And again, to summarize, it's the order taking from the customer, and then working on raw material sequencing from the suppliers, and then focus on in-house scheduling, and the last one is delivery to the customer. So under transformation, In here, we look at conversion of raw material to customer or customer product. So that's what the transformation is about. Another thing is companies or company should, and that's if it's possible, construct value streams for each product or process that they produce. There's a gentleman by the name of Womack, and what Womack suggested was value stream should involve suppliers, which are the external suppliers, and customers. And not just internal operations. So that's a key point. Once everyone is involved in reducing waste, and the Japanese terminology for waste is muda. So once everyone is involved in this, what Womack is suggesting, then waste reduction should start. A few points to keep in mind when you're working on these value streams, points to keep in mind. When companies are working, and a good example is external supplier, your company, and then the customer, when they're working on value stream, those companies may not disclose information to others because of pricing and costs. So this is considered confidential by the companies or the suppliers. So what's needed is voluntary alliance of members who gets these hidden muda eliminated or waste. And there's a gentleman by the name of M. Porter. This gentleman, he said that value chain is at a higher operation level. And this is from his work on competitive advantage. What he means by this is, what he means by this is generic value chain involves the following items. So the generic value chain involves following items. Number 1, human resources. Number 2, technology. Number 3, procurement. Number 4, inbound and outbound logistics. Number 5 is operations. Number 6 is marketing. Number 7, sales. And number 8 is service. So this is what he's saying. He's saying that on a generic value, the value chain involves these 8 items. So how does an organization gain competitive advantage when they're implementing lean or when they're in the process of lean? So how does an organization gain competitive advantage in lean? The answer is it's by performing certain strategic activities better or at a lower cost than your competition. So this is how a company can gain competitive advantage in lean, and that's by performing certain strategic activities better and or at a lower cost than the competitors. In lean manufacturing, or you may want to call it value stream, efforts they go in detail. So if you want to work on something, a single value stream is picked and analyzed for the following: reduction of waste, reduction of cycle time, and then improvement in quality. So what is done to identify all of the activities involved in a product? And I bet most of you already know the answer. So what is done to identify all of the activities involved in a product? Give you 1, 2, 3. Okay, time up. The answer is create current value stream map. This may include various suppliers that you do business with, may include production activities, and finally the customer. Don't forget the customer. Always and always keep him in mind. We are all in business because of the customers, and they help us pay our bills. So keep them in mind and do take care of them. So try to answer these questions and or consider these items when you or a company looks at these activities. So ask yourself these questions. One is, does it add value as perceived by the customer? Second is, you look at it and then you answer saying, it adds no value, but it's required. By the process to make the product. And last is, it adds no value and can be eliminated. There was a gentleman by the name of Connor. So Connor he suggests the following methods for documenting value stream maps. Number one, under product development area, look at to identify customers' expectations or requirements. And look at methods of delivering those requirements. And look at the typical quantities required. Under process design, start, and this is how you create a value stream map. Start from the shipping dock and work back through the process to receiving dock. And it's going to take you a while to do this. It will not happen overnight. And the main thing is record each step. Don't miss anything. Thorough analysis will get you better results. So take a note while you're doing all this. Take a note of machine times, cycle times, operators, changeover times, mostly this changeover is a highly area that needs to be improved in majority of the companies. So you take a note of changeover times, scrap rate, machine reliability, etc. So follow the process and record each step until you get to this. Easy way to do that is use 11 by 17 paper and use a pencil to record all of the above. And the last is planning. So based on current state value stream map, generate or develop a future state value stream map. So these are 4 things that were recommended by Connor to document the value stream map steps. So this is it for today. We'll continue with next lecture in Lean. Thanks for your participation and watch out for the attached reference material along with this video. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for your participation.